Have you ever seen a skeleton of someone who died while battling a snake? Or perhaps a cemetery where bodies were buried only after being dismembered, separated into torsos and limbs? Or even a burial ground where individuals were interred not in the earth, but within hollowed-out living trees? In today's video, we will explore just such curiosities, things we have neither read about in books nor heard recounted by our elders. These bizarre discoveries are as astonishing as they are mysterious and eerie. The child coffin. At the Saqqara necropolis, archaeologist Zahi Hawass discovered a burial chamber for a small child, situated approximately 36 feet beneath the ground. Inside this chamber lay a small coffin. The coffin had been crafted by skilled artisans from a single piece of precious wood. Based on the painted imagery and facial motifs adorning the coffin, it appeared to contain the mummy of a young girl, likely between 5 and 6 years of age. Experts were summoned to decipher the hieroglyphic inscriptions inscribed upon it. According to researchers, the coffin was likely interred some 3,500 years ago. Observing the coffin's lavish designs and ornamentation, researchers surmised that the child likely belonged to a wealthy family. Following her death, her parents had commissioned a coffin made of costly wood for her. There was a risk that the coffin might crumble if opened directly. Consequently, the decision was made to subject the entire coffin to an X-ray examination first. When the X-ray images appeared on the computer screen, they revealed something truly strange. The screen showed that half of the coffin lay empty, while a tiny object rested in the remaining section. The researchers decided to X-ray the coffin a second time. On this occasion, they were able to uncover the secret hidden within. In reality, the small object inside the coffin appeared to be the mummy of an infant, likely only 9 months old. To confirm the truth, they were compelled to open the coffin. When the lid of the coffin was opened with great caution, they discovered the body of a small child wrapped inside. According to Dr. Zahi Hawass, this marked a rare occurrence, the first instance where the mummy of a small child was found, housed within a full-sized coffin. Researchers suggest that the ancient Egyptians believed even young children would be resurrected in the afterlife. The ancient Egyptians held the conviction that after death, their loved ones would come to life once again in the next world. To facilitate their journey into this afterlife, the deceased's body was first meticulously preserved and then placed inside a specially crafted coffin. Subsequently, hieroglyphs were inscribed upon the coffin. Images of their cherished deities were painted on it, intended to assist the mummy in reaching the presence of their beloved gods. Furthermore, to the extent of their means, they would fill the interior of the coffin with jewelry and ornaments, ensuring that the deceased would appear beautiful and radiant when standing before their deity. Tree graves. In South Sulawesi, Indonesia, lies a village named Tanah Toraja. Situated in a mountainous region, this village is home to a peculiar custom. Whenever a child passes away in this village, they are buried within a hollow carved into the trunk of a tree. The opening of this arboreal grave is then sealed shut. The villagers carve a cavity into the trunk of a living tree. The deceased child is then wrapped in cloth and interred within the tree itself. According to their beliefs, burying a child in a tree in this manner allows the tree to naturally absorb both the child's body and soul. Each individual tree serves as the burial site for anywhere between 10 and 12 children. The sections of the trees that you see patched over are, in reality, the graves of these children. According to their tradition, this specific method of burial within a tree cavity is reserved exclusively for infants who have passed away before reaching the age of 6 months. While this practice may seem strange to us for the villagers, it is regarded as a perfectly normal custom. Prior to being interred in the tree, the deceased child is dressed in burial shrouds, placed inside a small coffin, and carried in procession throughout the entire village. Only then are the final rites performed. The villagers hold the belief that the spirit of the deceased will be carried away by the wind, while their physical body will gradually transform into a branch of the tree itself. These graves are even fitted with wooden doors. This is the Trunnion Cemetery. Much like the village of Tanah Toraja, the Indonesian village of Trunnion observes a peculiar custom wherein the deceased are not buried in the ground, nor are the dead cremated, carefully committed to the water or placed inside a coffin. Instead, they construct a wooden enclosure, essentially a cage, around the deceased. This site is known as the Trunnion Cemetery. Here, one can observe such wooden cages at every grave. Whenever a villager passes away, their body is wrapped in cloth and placed inside one of these cages. Gradually, the body decomposes within the wooden enclosure. Once a cage becomes full of remains, the oldest body, the one placed at the bottom, is removed and deposited onto a pile of skeletons situated beside the cemetery. Family members continue to keep watch over the specific decomposing body until it has fully reduced to a skeleton. Subsequently, the skull is separated from the skeleton and placed beneath a colossal tree known as the Trunnion tree. The final rites are concluded by placing a human skull at the base of this tree. This very pile of skulls constitutes the main burial ground. Here, at the foot of the tree, one can observe thousands of skulls. While this may appear gruesome to us, for them, it is an entirely ordinary occurrence, and they are not even bothered by the stench. Furthermore, this region is home to another peculiar tribe. According to their customs, rather than burying a deceased family member immediately, the surviving relatives continue to live alongside the corpse for several months. Much like the ancient Egyptians, they treat the bodies with formalin to mummify them. Consequently, the bodies do not decompose, even after remaining in the company of the living for months. Moreover, to appease the spirit of the deceased, they place the person's favorite foods before them, going so far as to even place a cigarette between their lips. It is only after a period of 6 to 7 months that they finally lay the deceased to rest. Man versus serpent. To this day, archaeologists have unearthed countless skeletons of gigantic humans, a truly astonishing discovery that serves as proof of the existence of giant-sized humans in antiquity. However, anyone viewing this particular footage would undoubtedly be left astounded, for what is visible here is not merely the skeleton of a giant, but one entwined with the skeleton of a serpent. When this video went viral on the internet in 2018, the prevailing belief was that, at some point in the distant past, a colossal serpent had engaged in a battle with a giant, coiling itself tightly around him. The theory suggested that while the giant succeeded in killing the serpent, he ultimately succumbed to its venom. What made the discovery even more astonishing was the presence of a horn on the serpent's skull. Observing this, many speculated that it was not a serpent at all, but rather the skeleton of a dragon or a dinosaur. Friends, do you also believe that a man actually fought against a serpent in reality? After extensive investigation into this incident, the true mystery was finally unraveled. It turned out that this installation had been created as an art exhibit inside a cave in the Krabi region of Thailand. The artwork was crafted by an artist from Taiwan, and it was designed to look so realistic that it would appear as though a giant had indeed fought a serpent in real life. Ever since it went viral on the internet, tourists from far and wide have flocked to see this artwork. Victims of a massacre. In 2012, excavation work for road construction was underway in the Basque region of Spain, specifically in the town of Laua, when workers suddenly stumbled upon a number of skeletons. Instead of finding complete bodies, they discovered skeletons consisting of severed body parts. Following this discovery, a team of archaeologists arrived at the site and commenced excavation work, unearthing one skeleton after another. Research conducted on the remains revealed that they had been buried approximately 2,000 years ago. However, the most astonishing revelation was that these individuals had been killed with extreme brutality before being buried. The skulls of about 13 skeletons were found, yet their bodies were missing. Other skeletons were missing their hands and feet. Furthermore, the heads of some skeletons appear to have been smashed by heavy objects. It appears as though a ruthless king had dismembered their bodies as a form of punishment before burying them in the earth. Yet whoever the monster was who committed these murders, it is evident that he harbored a deep hatred for these individuals. One tomb, two mummies. At the Saqqara necropolis, a team of archaeologists discovered a peculiar coffin. This coffin was significantly heavier than the others found in the vicinity. Archaeologist Zahi Hawass initially speculated that the coffin might contain the remains of an obese individual. However, experts examining the inscriptions on the coffin concluded that it belonged to a woman whose name, Mutmeti, was clearly inscribed upon it. Although the coffin, buried approximately 3,500 years ago, clearly indicated a female occupant, the skeletal remains found inside told a completely different and fascinating story. It contained not just one, but two distinct skeletons. Subsequent research on the remains revealed that one belonged to an 18-year-old boy, while the other belonged to a 40-year-old woman. To determine the relationship between the boy and the woman, DNA samples were collected from their bones. According to the doctor, this 18-year-old boy was the woman's son. Furthermore, the two were buried at different times. However, the reason behind this specific burial arrangement remains a mystery to researchers to this day. Much like a police investigator, Dr. Zahi Hawass set out to determine the cause of death. In his opinion, both the mother and the son suffered from familial Mediterranean fever, a condition that can prove fatal. Moreover, this disease is transmitted from parents to their children. Through this case, archaeologists uncovered an intriguing fact. In ancient Egypt, there was a custom of placing two bodies within a single coffin. They believed that by doing so, the two individuals would be able to share their life together in the afterlife. Friends, please let us know in the comments which of these details you found most fascinating. That is all for today. For now, I bid you farewell. We shall meet again in the next episode.